Sergeant, you may ring the division bell for quorum.
And having not achieved the requisite number for the House to commence this afternoon, the Speaker of the National Assembly, Honorable Dr. Masika Wetangula, has asked for the quorum bell to be rung to allow members of Parliament to walk into this important session, the afternoon session of Wednesday, July 31st, that was expected to commence at 2:30. And this is the session that members of Parliament will begin with the Supplementary Appropriations Bill, that is the National Assembly Bill number 39 of 2024, by the Chairpersons for Budget and Appropriations Committee, Honorable Ndindi Nyoro, who is also the Member of Parliament for Kiharu constituency. It will be remembered that this is a resumption of debate that was interrupted yesterday, July 30th. And this is the bill that they're going to discuss on the supplementary budget and on the Committee of the Whole House after the debate that was interrupted yesterday. We also have a motion on the reports of the Auditor General on the National Government Constituency Development Fund for the 9 constituencies that is in Bungoma County, that by the chairpersons for decentralized funds.
Jamatia, take your seat, the nearest seat. Thank you. Honorable members, I have 2 communications. The first one is on the appointment of members to a mediation committee on the Conflict of Interest Bill 2023. Honorable members, as you are aware, on Wednesday, 24th July 2024, the House rejected the motion on consideration of the Senate amendments to the Conflict of Interest Bill, National Assembly Bill number 12 of 2023. This decision consequently refers the bill to a mediation committee in accordance with the provisions of Article 112 of the Constitution and Standing Order 149. Article 113 of the Constitution requires that whenever a bill is referred to a mediation committee, the speakers of the Houses of Parliament shall appoint an equal number of members from both houses to attempt to develop a version of the bill for consideration by the Houses of Parliament. In this regard, honorable members, having consulted with the leader of the majority party and the leader of the minority party, I've appointed the following members to represent the National Assembly in the Mediation Committee: the Honorable George Murugara, CBS MP, the Honorable Mwengi Mutuse, OGW MP, the Honorable Silvanos Osoro, CBS MP, the Honorable John Makali MP, the Honorable Edward Murio MP, the Honorable Naisula the Suda MP, the Honorable Bisau Kakai MP, the Honorable Ken Chonga MP, and the Honorable Peter Masara MP. Honorable members, the aforementioned members will await the appointment of senators to the mediation committee for the committee to be fully constituted for purposes of commencing the mediation process. Once I receive a message from the Senate to that effect, I'll convey the same to the House. Thereafter, the mediation committee will embark on an attempt to develop a mediated version of the bill in accordance with Article 113 of the Constitution. I thank you. Members, take the nearest seats. The nearest seats. Consideration of recommendations of the National Dialogue Committee on proposed amendments to the Constitution. Honorable members, as you recall, in August 2023, the Houses of Parliament established the National Dialogue Committee, NADCO, to, among other things, facilitate dialogue and consensus building and recommend appropriate constitutional, legal, and policy reforms on issues of concern to the people of Kenya. The committee submitted its report to Parliament containing various recommendations in February 2024. Thereafter, upon adoption of the NADCO report by the National Assembly and the Senate, the leadership of the two houses met and adopted a clear roadmap to actualize the recommendations contained in the report. Consequently, in furtherance of the agreed roadmap by the leadership, I directed via communication number 06 of 2024, dated 5th March 2024, that the Departmental Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs of the National Assembly holds joint sittings with the Senate Standing Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs, and Human Rights to consider recommendations of the report relating to the proposals to amend the Constitution within 45 days. Honorable members, the full implementation of the recommendations of the report, especially with respect to proposed constitutional amendments, is intended to ensure achievement of the aspirations of the people. However, it has come to my attention that the committees of the two houses have not been able to meet as agreed in the implementation roadmap. Indeed, I am in receipt of a letter dated 23rd July 2024 from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs, the Honorable George Kitonga Murukara CBS MP, requesting for extension of time to consider the proposals arising out of NADCO report. In the letter, the chairperson also alludes to challenges conducting joint sittings with the counterpart Senate committee. This is especially with regard to availability of requisite quorum to commence sittings. It is therefore the considered view of the chairperson on behalf of the committee that to ensure expeditious consideration of the proposals to amend the Constitution, the respective committees be approved to sit independently and to thereafter report to the respective houses. Honorable members, appreciating the immense public interest in the actualization of the recommendations and proposals of the National Dialogue Committee, and having extensively consulted the leadership of the House, I have acceded to the request by the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs and direct that 1, the period for consideration of the proposals emanating from the report of the National Dialogue Committee, NADCO, is hereby extended by 45 days from today, Wednesday, 31st July 2024, and 2, notwithstanding the directive issued on 5th March 2024 regarding joint sittings of the two committees of the Houses of Parliament, the Departmental Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs is hereby authorized to hold its sittings independently and to report back to the National Assembly within the timeline stipulated above. The House is accordingly guided. Next.
Order number 3, messages.
Take the nearest seats, honorable members. Thank you. Honorable members, I have a message from His Excellency the President on nomination of persons for appointment as Attorney General and Cabinet Secretary. Standing Order 42.1 relating to messages from the President provide that the Speaker shall read to the House any message from the President delivered to the Speaker for communication to the House. In this regard, I wish to convey to the House that I have received 2 messages from His Excellency the President notifying of the nomination of persons for appointment as the Attorney General and as a Cabinet Secretary, respectively. In the first message, honorable members, His Excellency the President conveys that in exercise of powers conferred on him by Article 156(2) of the Constitution, as read together with Section 3 and 5 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act Cap 7F, he nominates Ms. Dorcas Agik Odong Odwor, Senior Counsel OGW, for appointment as the Attorney General of the Republic of Kenya. For clarity, Article 156(2) of the Constitution states, and I quote, "The Attorney General shall be nominated by the President and with the approval of the National Assembly appointed by the President." Honorable members, in the second message, His Excellency the President conveys that in exercise of powers conferred on him by Article 152(2) of the Constitution, as read together with Section 3 and 5 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act, Cap 7F, he nominates Ms. Beatrice Askul Moe for appointment as the Cabinet Secretary for East African Community Affairs and Regional Development. For clarity again, Article 152(2) of the Constitution states, and I quote, "The President shall nominate and with the approval of the National Assembly appoint Cabinet Secretaries." In view of the foregoing and pursuant to the provisions of Section 8 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act, as read together with the Standing Order 42(3), I hereby refer the messages from the President together with the curriculum vitae of the nominees to the Committee on Appointments. Honorable members, Section 8 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act provides that unless otherwise provided in law, the committee to which such nomination is referred shall consider the matter and table a report in the House within 28 days. Conscious of the fact that the House is scheduled to proceed on recess next week, I hasten to clarify that the counting of days with respect to the consideration of the nominees will cease during the recess period and resume when the House first sits upon resumption. It is therefore imperative that the Committee on Appointments commences the process of consideration of the nominees alongside those already committed to it. In so doing, the Committee on Appointments is expected to expeditiously notify the nominees and the general public, commence the necessary approval hearings, and table its report in the House soonest to enable the House to consider the nominees within the stipulated time. I thank you. Next.
Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers.
Chairperson, Select Committee on Parliamentary Broadcasting and Library. Epuyo Nanok, is he the one? Or who is the chairman? Majority Leader? Okay, go ahead, give him the mic.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the
intelligence gathering and response mechanisms to restore peace and stability in the region. I thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the issue is very serious, with the same gangs coming to my own house in Garissa County. So I'm really concerned by this issue. Thank you.
Tongoyo, that's your docket. The member for Garissa wanted to say something on the same. We rarely allow this, but since you requested, I give you 1 minute.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I stand and rise to add my voice on what the honorable member has raised and to say that the situation is very bad, Mr. Speaker. And we have raised these issues, tried to solve it through the security agencies, and we are unable to get support. You might know that the delicate situation on the ground in terms of the fact that that region itself was already insecure in terms of infiltration of Al-Shabaab insurgents who are also bringing in firearms into the town. Mr. Speaker, this issue since 2023 we've been addressing with the security agencies on the same issue. Young people carrying daggers, swords in the middle of the town and doing on broad daylight and robbing people and stabbing young people. A number of people have been killed or stabbed by these sword-carrying gangs. And unfortunately, they are known to the security agencies, but no action is being taken. We want the chair of the committee to take it very seriously and engage the national security team. We need an overhaul of our security group leaders at the county level and the constituency level. The incidences are mainly concentrated within Garissa Township constituency. Thank you, Mr.
Tongoyo, when can you bring the statement?
Honorable Speaker, I'll ask to bring it next week.
Next week.
But having said this, Honorable Speaker, I think it's just good to appreciate that the issue being raised by the members is a concern issue, is a major concern. And I remember some time back, somewhere last month, there was even an attempt actually to have the team meet with the minister and able to discuss, considering majority of these security issues are so sensitive, at times actually to be even discussed in the open. So bring next week, but I will still probably ask you.
Wednesday?
Wednesday, together with many others. Speakers.
Yes, Wednesday afternoon?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Kawanjiku.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Request for a statement on the irregular and illegal grant of tax exemption of a company under the Special Operating Framework Agreement. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provision of Standing Order 42C, I seek to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Committee on Delegated Registration relating to claims that the Blue Nile Rolling Mills Limited, a company in the steel production industry.
Move slightly away from the mic so that we don't have the echo.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Not too far, not too close.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Pursuant to the provision of Standing Order 44.2c, I seek to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Committee on Delegated Registration relating to claims that the Brunei Loading Mills Limited, a company in the steel production industry and which operates under Special Operating Framework Agreement, so far, was illegally granted tax exemption. Honorable Speaker, to lay a basis on this, the Blue Nile Rolling Mills entered into a special operating framework with government in the year 2020 and was subsequently granted various tax exemptions. Article 5 of the agreement provides that the company is exempted from income corporate tax of up to 10% for the first 5 years, value-added tax, import duty, import declaration fee, IDF, and the Railway Development Levy, RDL, in respect of all raw materials imported by the company. This has led to loss of public funds in unpaid taxes, creating an economic advantage for the company, resorted the local markets, and threatened the sustainability of the local industry dealing with steel production. Honorable Speaker, as you are aware, the law provides that the tax exemption under Special Operating Framework Agreement can only be granted to companies incorporated for purposes of undertaking the manufacture of human vaccines and whose capital investments is at least 10 billion shillings. The company is neither a human vaccine manufacturer nor a company whose investment is at least 10 billion shillings. Honorable Speaker, consequently, due to illegal grant of tax exemption, the company is operating at a very minimal cost and all other manufacturers are unable to compete with cheap products produced by the company. As a result, there has been outcry in the steel production industry by manufacturers who risk closing business should the unfair competitive advantage in form of tax exemptions conferred to the company continue being in place. Further, the cost of production vis-a-vis the price of products by the company is extremely low compared to all other companies, which goes against the competition law. It is alleged that the government is losing nearly Kenya shillings 30 billion annually on unpaid taxes. Nothing comes at a time when the government is grappling with the handoff of reduction of tax correction. It is paramount that the allegations made by the industry players are investigated. It is also worth noting that the tax exemption have been granted to the company through various legal notices in exercise of delegated authority. Honorable Speaker, it is on this basis that I seek for a statement from the chairperson of the Committee on Delegated Registration and further request that the committee does inquire into matters raised and make the relevant recommendation thereof. In conducting the inquiry, the committee may investigate and determine, number one, the circumstances under which the tax exemption on income corporate tax, value-added tax, imports duty, IDF, and LDL were granted to Blue Nile Rolling Mills Limited. Number two, the total value of tax exemption that have been granted to Blue Nile Rolling Mills Limited so far, and the estimated value of the exemption that will have been granted to the company on the expiry of the agreement. Number three, the content of the agreement between the company and government, the period for which the company shall enjoy the tax exemption under the agreement, and the implication thereof in terms of loss of public funds. Number four, whether the requirement of the law in granting tax exemption under SOFA to the company were complied with, and indicates the person that were responsible for approving the tax exemption granted to the company. And number five, the number of employees employed by the company and the status of compliance with the ensuring tax obligation by the company. Number six, the number of companies dealing with the manufacturer of galvanizing wire, steel production that are currently enjoying tax exemption and the value of the investments of the company. Number seven, the status of other existing special operating framework agreement and their impact on the economy. Number 8, and any other matter that the committee may deem appropriate. Honorable Speaker, I also understand that the industry prayers and other organizations have written to you requesting for the same, and therefore that's why probably, Mr. Speaker, we are asking for this statement so that we can make sure that the companies that are given exemptions, they are the companies that will also benefit, they will not have a monopoly of benefit as far as the other companies are also concerned, Madam Mr. Speaker. I submit.
Chair. Wapi Chepkonga?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker,
yes.
I have just heard what Honorable Kawanjiku, the member of the indomitable member for Kiamba. He has raised very fundamental issues.
As a matter of fact, the office of the Speaker has received several letters also to this effect.
That even makes it very serious, Mr. Speaker, that even the Speaker has received additional information. So, and these
I've
are
received complaints, not additional information.
Yeah, thank you very much.
When can you...
Thank you. Since they are very serious matters, Mr. Speaker, and these are the issues we've been complaining about as a committee, that people issue orders that have an effect of law, and they don't bring them to the House. Yes. So with that, Mr. Speaker, I would request that you give us 2 weeks, and we'll bring a report here.
Okay, you have 2 weeks.
Thank you.
Robert Mbui, this... Before we go to Robert Mbui, Esther Passaris.
Honorable Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order 43, I wish to make a statement regarding the commemoration of the Pan-African Women's Day 2024. Honorable Speaker, today, 31st July 2024, the African continent is observing the Pan-African Women's Day 2024 under the theme Gender, Environment, and Justice. The Pan-African Women's Day, held under the African Women's Call for Peace initiative, kicks off a campaign in favor of peace while celebrating the role of women in fostering peace and sustainable development across the African societies. The initiative, aligned with the global aspirations of the Sustainable Development Goals, the African Union's Agenda 2063, the United Nations Resolution 1325, seeks to harness the immense potential of African women to create a more just, equitable, and sustainable Africa. Honorable Speaker, to achieve its objectives, the African Women's Call for Peace initiative seeks to empower women through capacity building, awareness raising, and platform creation. By doing so, it aims to cultivate a powerful movement of women leaders driving peace and sustainable development across Africa. The initiative supports this vision by establishing a strong organizational structure, nurturing young women, fostering peace, adapting to local contexts, and building collaborative partnerships. This year's Pan-African Women's Day, under the theme Gender, Environment and Justice, will celebrate the efforts and contributions of women in environmental justice. Honorable Speaker, to commemorate the Pan-African Women's Day 2024 today, African women are launching a symbolic campaign to demonstrate their commitment to peace, the White Scarf Initiative. By wearing a white scarf and sharing a message of peace on social media, they will create a visible and powerful expression of unity. This campaign will culminate in the publication of a manifesto outlining women's priorities for peace and development. Honorable Speaker, as I invite the House to be part of the commemoration of the Pan-African Women's Day 2024, I urge us to remember that the journey to peace and sustainable development is a collective one, calling for participation of both men and women. By uplifting the voices and efforts of women, we not only honor their contributions, but also pave the way for a more peaceful, sustainable, and equitable future for all, thereby creating a legacy of hope and prosperity for generations to come. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. I've been requested by Sabina Chege to make a comment on that. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to support the statement from Honorable Passaris for African Women for Peace. As we commemorate this day, Mr. Speaker, I want to appreciate the role the women play in each society in peacekeeping. Mr. Speaker, when there's no peace in any country, women and children are mostly affected. And so I stand today to be counted as one of the women leaders who support peace. I want to congratulate His Excellency the President for finding it in his heart to have a broad-based government so that we can incorporate everyone in running of this country, in sharing ideas, in governing this country. And I also want to thank really Mr. President for embracing each and everyone and showing peace. And that's why, Mr. Speaker, we say that let us all unite together. Let's leave no one behind in leadership, in our homes, and even in this House, Mr. Speaker. If we work together as a team, we'll have more peaceful country. We are role models. People look at us out there. So if we remain peaceful from this House, Mr. Speaker, and even in the executive, within the leadership, I am sure peace will prevail in this country. And that's why I say even in Kenya, may peace, love, and unity prevail. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Responses to statements. Statement by Robert Mbui. Tongoyo, are you ready? Robert Mbui himself is not here.
So maybe I need your indulgence, Honorable Speaker, considering that this is a matter of much interest, whether an issue or we do it when the member is in the House.
Bring the statement next week on Wednesday.
Okay. Well guided.
Statement requested by Abdi Ali, member for Ijara. Chair Energy. You are ready?
Yes, I'm ready, Honorable Speaker.
Go ahead. Is the member for Ijara here?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Kawaya.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the member for Injara sought for a statement, as well as the member for the nominated member, Honorable Aaron M. Kerr, and the request for statement was similar, so the two requests were merged together. So I have one response to the two members. Honorable Speaker, following the letter dated 8th May 2024, referenced NA/DDC/Energy/Energy and Petroleum to make submissions on the following statements from Honorable Sorry, Mr. Speaker. Statements by a Member of Parliament for Injara constituency, Honorable Abdi Ali Abdi MP, and the nominated member, Honorable Omukera, regarding power outages in Masalani Injara wards in Injara constituency. The following are submissions on the statements as requested. 1. Measures that the government has put in place to ensure the residents of Masalani and Injara wards have access to reliable electricity. Mr. Speaker, currently, Masalani and Injara wards in Injara constituency are connected to the grid and supplied by 33 kV Masalani feeder from Garissa 220/33 kV substation. The line done on concrete poles has a length of approximately 190 kilometers. Mr. Speaker, Garissa 220/33 kV substation has been off supply since April 2024, when the power supply transmission towers were swept away by floods at the river Sabaki. This necessitated power to be supplied via the 33 kV line from Kakuyuni 220/33 kV substation, which is just before Malindi. This resulted into low voltages in Lamu and Tana River counties due to the longer distances and higher loads on the line. Mr. Speaker, this was solved by installation of an automatic voltage regulator AVR at the Garissa substation. Mr. Speaker, the 33 kV Masalani line crosses River Tana between Boji and Majengo villages. The area is prone to massive flooding during rain season. This makes the road linking Masalani and Jara impassable, and the 4-kilometer section of the power line submerged in water.
Honorable DK, you are out of order.
Mr. Speaker, in May 2024, the flooding exceeded the normal levels. The poles were submerged, with one pole slanting at an angle of 60 degrees. This caused a snap of one conductor, and consequently the line tripped, affecting both Masalani and Ijara. Using a boat, the Kenya Power team at Hola were able to secure 2 conductors. The third conductor could not be secured due to the personnel safety reasons. The supply was thus restored to single phase, customers only, until the waters subsided. On 12 June 2024, the water levels had subsided and that conductor was secured, hence normalizing supply in the affected area. Number 2, Mr. Speaker, government plans to compensate affected businesses in Masalani and Jara wards following massive losses of produce incurred especially by vendors who sell perishable commodities. Mr. Speaker, the cause of power loss in these areas was force majeure, hence beyond government and KPLC's management control. Due to the unforeseen situation, the service provider acted to its best ability to alleviate the losses that otherwise would have been incurred had the single phase not been restored. Number 3, Mr. Speaker, plans the government is putting in place to provide stable and reliable power connectivity in Masalani and Ijara wards, given that the current and reliable connectivity is from Hola, Tana River County. Mr. Speaker, as already indicated in one above, the power to the affected areas was restored completely on 12 June 2024 after the water levels had subsided. Therefore, power supply to the 2 areas has been normalized. Mr. Speaker, further, the government through Ketraco is constructing a transmission line to Hola. That is the Garissa-Hola transmission line, which is a 20 kV line, which will drastically shorten the line lengths supplying Injara constituency, hence increasing supply reliability. Mr. Speaker, that is a statement as signed by the CS, former CS Energy, Davis Churchill. If you allow me, Mr. Speaker, the next statement.
I can't. Let's have a response from the MP who sought the statement first. Member for Ijara, you've listened to the Honorable Chairman. You are satisfied?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir, for the opportunity you have given me. I have heard what the Chair of Energy has said, and on behalf of Ijara constituency, I'm not satisfied on the response that the Chair has given and the Ministry, on behalf of the Ministry. As you know that when we complained, before even we complained and put the question, it was 3 months that Ijara constituency had issues of power outages in Masalani town, which means has nothing to do with floods. We need a permanent solution. Masalani is among the oldest town we have in Kenya, and it is densely populated. Unfortunately, we don't have even a small power station in Masalani. So for the excuse that the ministry is giving in terms of floods has nothing to do. It's always in and out, and we need a permanent solution. For the purpose of force majeure, what he said about the force majeure has nothing to do with this situation. So I request further permanent solution of power in Masalani constitution, in Masalani town, Ijara constituency. Thank you. Permanent solution.
Kawaya.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The last part of my statement read that the construction of by Ketraco of the Garissa-Hola line is going to stabilize the connection, but I would request the member, we can have a sit-in with the ministry, and the member appears before the committee so that they can be able to ask several supplementary questions, because at the end of the day, Mr. Speaker, the ministry should be able to respond to the questions directly.
Yes, Umuher.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I also asked the same statement, and the response is not sufficient because my statement was not just for Ijara, but the entire Garissa, because electricity affected both Ijara and township area and other areas. The response says that compensation will be given to farmers, but we've tried to follow up and there's nothing that has been done. We can't have this response limited to just the electricity issues, but also the farmers whose produce have been affected. So I'm interested to know what the ministry is doing, because the irrigation, the chairman for the Blue Economy said that it's under his committee, but it's not, it's under energy. And as per the response, they've highlighted that they're working to compensate the farmers, but nothing has been done. This happened in October and February this year. So if there are floods again, it's still meant to, it will still go affect the farmers again. So please, let's find a solution to the farmers who have also been affected. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to agree that this response did not focus on Garissa County, but specifically on Ijara constituency.
But when you started, you said you are responding to both statements.
Yes, yes,
by the two members.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. The assumption was that since the member from Garissa County did not mention specifically the areas that were affected by floods, then this was taken to mean that Ijara constituency, which lies under Garissa County, there was no specific other constituency that the member had requested. But I wanted to respond on a specific issue that the member has raised, which is the issue of compensation. The law as it is now allows compensation by Kenya Power. If the circumstances do not fall under force majeure, the question would be then, as the ministry has put it, they attribute these floods, these outages to floods. And then the reason why they quote force majeure. That's why I think it is going to be necessary for the members to appear before the committee, where we can ask the minister to appear before us, and then they can be able to exchange before the committee, Mr. Speaker.
You should not hide under force majeure. Force majeure in law is a contestable defense.
It is not me, but the ministry.
You are their representative here.
As Mr. Speaker, this statement reads down
from the ministry. Satisfy yourself that it is conveying an answer worth bringing to this house. Yeah. You can call the ministry and interrogate the officials who have given you the statement. Correct. So that when you bring here, you have self-satisfaction as the chair and you are conveying a statement of truth to the house. So in future, let's do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Next is a statement requested by Captain Rueda Obo. Again to you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I stand well guided. Mr. Speaker, the honorable member for Lamu East sought a statement. Regarding outages in Kiunga village in Lamu East constituency. And this is a response, Mr. Speaker, following the letter dated 11th June 2024 referenced NA/DDC/Energy/COR/2024-035, the National Assembly Departmental Committee on Energy requested the Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Energy and Petroleum to make submissions on the following statements by the member. Sorry, Mr. Speaker, I'm handling many things at a go. By the member for Lamu East, Honorable Rueda Obo. The following are the submissions on the statements as requested. 1, status of repairing faulty power generators in the country and specifically Kiunga village. Mr. Speaker, currently KPLC operates and maintains around 30 off-grid diesel power stations spread all over the country, with 2 stations in Lamu County situated at Faza and Kiunga towns. Currently, all the generators at Faza, which were installed in 2021 are in good working condition. And the following are the generators. One of the generators is Perkins 2500, installed in 2021, which is okay and working. 2, it is Perkins 2806, installed in 2021, which is also in good working condition. And 3, it's Perkins 25, which was under maintenance in 2024 April, and it's working. There is no load shedding at Pate Highland, which is being served by Faza Power Station. B, Mr. Speaker, the station at Kiunga Town was constructed by REREC and handed over to KPLC for operation and maintenance since the year 2016. The station has 2 generators comprising of 1X 80 kVA and 1X 150 kVA sets. The maximum demand at Kiunga is about 80 kilowatts. The 80 kVA unit failed on 12th April 2024 and was repaired on 19th April 2024. It failed again on 22nd April 2024, and a team from Lamu and Faza was sent on 29th April 2024 to assist the local team. Mr. Speaker, the repair works commenced again on 1st to 5th May 2024. but it was unsuccessful. The faulty parts were however identified and are undergoing repairs in our Nairobi or in Kenya Power's Nairobi workshop. The two generators are Parkins generator, 80 kVA, and status is faulty alternator, and the repair of alternator completed in Nairobi undergoing tests. The second one is Parkins generator 150 kVA, which has a damaged engine, replacement engine under repair in Nairobi. However, Mr. Speaker, the Ministry of Energy and Petroleum has been able to source and build one Cummins 150 kVA in Nairobi South workshop, and necessary tests have been undertaken, and the unit is in transit together with the repaired alternator for unit number 1. In addition, Mr. Speaker, a new 300 kVA generator set for Kiunga has been procured and is expected to be installed by the supplier. The delivery of the repaired generator to Kiunga by road has been hampered due to ongoing rains, with the road at Gamba, Tana River County area being cut off, rendering it impassable. The situation has also been compounded by the insecurity in Boni Forest, where the main road to Kiunga passes. We are therefore pursuing urgently a delivery mode that will be fast and secure for delivery of generator sets, soonest, and alleviate power supply problem at Kiunga Island by sea or ocean. The Ministry of Energy and Petroleum, Mr. Speaker, has sought assistance from the Ministry of Defense via the Kenya Navy in providing necessary logistical support to enable delivery of power generator sets to Kiunga Power Station. 2, Mr. Speaker, provide a report on measures put in place by Kenya Power Lighting PLC to restore electricity in Kiunga village and ensure stable power supply. Mr. Speaker, the Kenya Power and Lighting Company has put in place measures to restore power in Kiunga village, as already highlighted, by repairing the faulty generators. Further, Mr. Speaker, the ministry through KPLC has plans to upgrade generation capacity at Kiunga and ensure some spare for redundancy in case of generator failure in future. This plan is at advanced stage, and already procurement and award of the contractor to supply and install and commission additional 300 kVA generator done on 29th January 2024. The additional generator is expected to be installed by June 30th, 2024. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Signed by the former CS Churchill.
Thank you. Roeda.
Bwana Spika, mimi sijaridhika. Badala mwenyekiti kutumia aya nyingi, sentensi nyingi, paragrafu nyingi, makurasa kwa makurasa, mimi nilikuwa nataka kujua hapa uniambie kwa sentensi moja kwamba stima Kiunga inarudi lini. Leo ni siku 109, miezi mitatu na zaidi Kiunga hakuna stima na shida generator imeharibika. Kwani hii Kenya Power ni maskini sana, hawawezi kukomboa meli kutoka Mombasa kupeleka generator. Unaniambia mimi generator iko hapo Mokoe na haijafika. Watu wenye kisukari wanapata shida, hakuna insulin. Nataka uniambie siku gani stima zitawaka Kiunga, na kama haziwaki katika siku, mimi nakupatia wiki 2, kama haziwaki nitaenda kulala katika hiyo station mpaka siku ile mtawasha stima. Asante.
Kawaya, unasikia hiyo hasira?
Oh my goodness, hasira sana. So Mr. Speaker,
she is representing her people.
Yes, it is true. And
yes.
I feel our pain, Mr. Speaker. The minister had undertaken that the commissioning works for the new generator would be complete by 30th June 2024. Obviously, that has not come to be. That is already a month late.
Did you say the generator is lying in Mombasa? The transformer or transformer?
It is a generator. This is an off-grid. This area is not under the national grid. It is served by off-grid generator, diesel generators.
And the generator is in Mombasa?
Yes.
Say? What is it doing in Mombasa?
Mr. Speaker, there is logistical issues of supply and installation. The contractor it is not in our hands. The contractor has been procured, as read in this statement, to install and commission a 300 kV generator. It appears that work is not yet complete. The undertaking was that the work would be complete.
Yes, Roida, what's your point of order?
Bwana Spika, generator iko Mokoe, kuna generator mbili. Kenya Power nimefuatilizia kwa karibu, ofisi zao nimeenda zote. Generator moja ya Kenya Power ndogo iko Mokoe na generator ingine ya contractor iko Mokoe. Shida yao wanatafuta watu ati KDF wabebe au wengine wanabebe. Nyinyi hamuna pesa kweni za kubeba huko, si ile ni biashara, si watu watalipa.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, you understand when a contractor has been...
Yes, Elisha?
It's a generator.
Hold on, Kawaya. Yes, Elisha? Give him a...
Mr. Speaker, my chairman was very candid that there's a consultation with the Navy to be able to transport that generator into the island. That's what I wanted to clarify.
Order, Kawaya, this is a very simple matter. Liars with Kenya Power, right?
Yes, Mr.
And
Speaker.
report back on Thursday next week that the generator has been transported to Kiunga and installed. You heard the member say that patients are suffering because there's no electricity to freeze the medicines required for certain ailments. Liars with the agency report back on Thursday that the generator has been transported and has been installed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.
I'm well guided.
Next, Joyce Kamene. Is she here? Yes, Joyce. Chair Transport. Is the Chair Transport here? GK. Chair Transport.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Respond to the statement by Honorable Joyce Kamene. Are you ready?
Yes, I am ready, Honorable Speaker. I have two statements. Yes. Honorable Speaker, I rise to respond to the statement requested by Honorable Kamene regarding the deplorable condition of Murorongo Kware Katani Road. Honorable Speaker, on Thursday, 24 May 7th, member for Machakos County, Honorable Joyce Kamene, MP, requested for a statement from the chairperson of Departmental Committee on Transport and Infrastructure regarding the deplorable condition of Murorongo Kware Katani Road in Machakos County. Honorable Speaker, in the statement, the Honorable member requested the committee to provide a report on the approved design for Murorongo Kware Katani Road, including the road profiles, drainage, and lighting, and whether the design adhere to the principle of durability and sustainability for road serving heavy trucks. B, clarification on whether construction of the named road conform to the approved design, outline the content of the inspection report for the road, and confirm whether a completion certificate was issued, and if so, a further explanation on why the road failed within 5 years of construction. C, the plans the ministry, through Kura, has in place to urgently reconstruct the dilapidated Mlolongo, Kware, Katani tarmac, Mwananchi, Syokimau Community Road, and Josca Sunshine Mwadhani Road, and repair Syokimau Katani Link Road. D, a statement on the timelines for construction or maintenance of the named roads needed to restore them to a motorable state. Honorable Speaker, the committee received a response from the Ministry of Roads and Transport during a meeting held on 4 June 2024, which I now wish to make. One, the ministry stated that the Mlolongo Kware Katani Road was designed in compliance with the applicable road design manuals and was subsequently constructed in compliance with the procedures and standards specified in the standard specification for road and bridge construction. The road pavement structure for the road was selected from the Road Design Manual Part 3, that is materials and pavement design for new roads. After the number and type of various categories of traffic were counted, analyzed, and future growth was projected. The traffic study indicated relatively high traffic and the commensurate high strength pavement selected as follows. 1, subgrade 300 mm gravel, 2, subbase 225 mm of cement improved graded crushed stones, that is GCS. 3, base 150 of dense bitumen macadam, that is DBM. And 4, wearing coarse 55 mm of asphalt concrete, that's AC. 2, the pavement design was adequate to carry the heavy loaded trucks through the design period. The geometric design also made a provision for drains with the side labs on both sides of the road. Street lights were installed and handed over to the county government of Machakos upon completion of the road for maintenance and operation. Honorable Speaker, number 3, regarding whether the construction of the road adhered to the approved design, the ministry confirmed that the Kenya Urban Rural Roads provided appropriate site supervision and oversight, which included regular testing of construction materials and other quality control measures. The project was completed on 31st July 2019, and a completion certificate was issued to the contractor. 4, the ministry, however, noted that while carrying out its annual road inventory and condition surveys in the subsequent years, an exercise which is part of the process of preparing appropriate annual maintenance interventions, Kura noted instances of emerging pavement distress on the Mlolongo Kware Katani Road and identified the contributing factors and challenges as follows. 1, poor planning in the project area leads to overloaded trucks being redirected to the Mlolongo Kware Katani Road, causing strain on the road and causing unnecessary congestion in the Katani and Syokimau areas. The flat terrain and predominantly black cotton soil in the project area hinders stormwater drainage, leading to obstruction of natural waterways and water stagnation, affecting road pavement layers and podding. 3, overloading on the Mlolongo Kware Katani Road is prevalent due to the absence of weighbridge, causing pavement damage and inconsistent enforcement of loading limits. 4, overfilling of trucks from quarries and waste lorries causes excess material to spill onto roads and drains, contributing to poor drainage in the area, as well as causing informal roadside depots to be overfilled. 4, Neighboring companies illegally discharge grey water, industrial waste onto road surfaces and drainage systems, leading to the overtopping, blockages, and pavement deterioration during rains. Honorable Speaker, the ministries submitted there are immediate plans to prioritize repairs to the damaged sections of the mentioned road, focusing on critical areas affected by overloading. This would include cleaning of the drainage channels. Regarding the timelines for reconstruction or maintaining the mentioned roads to restore them to motorable state, the ministry stated it will carry out immediate repairs within 6 months. Additionally, it plans to place these roads under a performance-based contract to ensure consistent maintenance and address any emerging issues immediately within a time frame of 6 months to 1 year. Additionally, the ministry has given an assurance that it is committed to addressing the challenges faced on the said roads and the other roads around Katani. However, coordinated and strict enforcement of the prevailing regulations on environmental management, enhanced enforcement on Legal Notice number 51 of 2013, that is on axle road control regulations, as well as enhanced community cooperation are necessary for achieving the objective of preventing damage arising from misuse and keeping the road in a well-maintained state. In conclusion, Honorable Speaker, the ministry intends to improve critical roads in Mavoko, as well as in other areas as and when funds are available, noting that the ministry faces substantial pending bills for completed road works, which need to be addressed before commencing new projects. The committee notes the role of the road sector as key enabler in the economic development and therefore undertakes to follow up on this matter as part of its oversight role to ensure that these roads and other roads all over the country are maintained. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I submit.
Mene.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as you've had the chair answer, he has not given any solution. It is simple. Has the work started for repairing this road, and especially the Mlolongo Quarry Road, because it is still unpassable. The state is miserable. Mr. Speaker, sir, I'd also asked about the community road in Syokimau Katani, and this project was supposed to be completed by mid-April, and up to now it has not been done. Kura continuously keeps giving answers of delay and no work is going on. We also have serious challenges in the airport road, which is 1.9 kilometers. We also have the Mwananchi road of 1 kilometer and the Chai road of 600 meters. Mr. Speaker, these 3 projects have been funded through the Fuel Levy Fund and managed by Kura Machakos office. We have serious challenges in the quality of work as it is. We have also addressed this to the Kura engineers. The contractor who is doing Airport Road Phase 2 is the same person who did the Phase 1 and which was poorly done. Mr. Speaker, my question is this. If the same contractor did the first phase and within 5 months that road had potholes, how was he given phase 2 to undertake the same contractor? We need answers. Roads in Syokimau are impassable. Whenever you give a contractor, it is shady work that is done. And we need answers.
You are now debating instead of asking for clarification.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I gave you an opportunity to seek a further clarification on the statement.
Mr. Speaker, can the chair give us clarity on these roads? Because there's nothing that is going on right now.
Chairman.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Allow me to remind the Honorable Member that the challenge the ministry is facing is inadequate funding. Last financial year, and the allocation to this agency, that's roads, was 56 billion. And out of this 56 billion, only 34 was availed through Exchequer. So this challenge, some of these challenges are beyond the agencies. Two, Honorable Speaker, I believe the roads in the members' constituency are some of the roads we were trying to fund through the aborted finance bill. So if we had gotten that money that we had allocated for this road, would have been able to help you. But I think we'll have to live with the situation the way it is and hope that the government somehow will get money to fund the roads that are stored. And even the projects such as our roads that need to be rehabilitated. The issue here is about funding. Thank you.
Thank you. Next statement, again to you, GK. Yes, Kamene.
Mr. Speaker, I'm not talking about the ones that we are waiting to fund. My questions was on the roads that have been done, and they were done poorly. Airport Road, and this Syokimau Quarry Road, which he even stated that was done and was completed in 2019. And right now, it is impassable, and in January, that road was also impassable. The quality of work, does it make sense that roads are done?
Let her finish.
Does it make sense that a road has been done, and in 2 years, it's impassable?
We've heard you. Yes, Daud, what is your point of order?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the honorable member who is asked this question, she was invited to the committee. When the answers were being given, she could have even come to the committee and questioned the agencies which were there. It would have been much easier. Instead of just asking questions which the chair will not be able to answer here. So, Mr. Speaker, she should have made a point to come to the committee.
Were she elected to come to plenary? GK?
Honorable Speaker, should I move to the next one or still
yes.
dwell on this?
Munyoro is in the house?
He is not.
Honorable Munyoro? If he's not in the house, table the answer, he'll read it from the table office.
I'm told the Honorable Kehongi is sitting in for him.
Kehongi, you have a power of attorney on the question. Go on, GK.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, on Thursday, 7th May 2024, the member for Kigumo, the Honorable Joseph Munyoro MP, requested for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Transport and Infrastructure regarding the status of Mauu roads in Kegumo constituency. Honorable Speaker, in the statement, the honorable member sought to, among other things, establish A, the reason for prolonged delay in completing the Mauu roads in Kegumo constituency, and B, the plans the Ministry of Roads and Transport has put in place for the resumption and completion of Mauu roads construction, and C, the mitigation measures the ministry is undertaking to ensure that the roads within Kegumo constituency remain passable during the rainy season. D, when the contractor is expected to resume construction of the Ikombe Karinga Gasharage Road. And E, the long-term measures the ministry is taking to ensure the safety of residents during the rainy seasons. Honorable Speaker, the committee held a meeting with the Ministry of Roads and Transport on 4 June 2024 to receive a response to the statement. Thereafter, the committee requested for additional information, and I therefore wish to respond to the statement as follows. To give a brief background of the matter, the State Department of Roads has a huge budget insufficiency leading to limited allocation for road projects. Implementation of the Road 10,000 program from the year 2013-14 led to a huge portfolio of projects not commensurate with the budget ceiling provided by the National Treasury. And two, the rollout of Roads 10,000 program entered a full-year cycle in the 2017-18 financial year. It was expected that on account of the rollout, the GOK allocation for roads would progress upwards. However, over time, the ceiling allocation for roads has stagnated to an average of Kenya shillings 55 billion per year from the year 2017-18 to date. Honorable Speaker, this Roads 10,000 program rollout, in addition to the ongoing road contracts prior to the 2013 to 2024, culminated in an outstanding GOK portfolio of Kenya shillings 900 billion as at 31st July 2022. The huge outstanding portfolio in relation to GOK ceiling provided has resulted into minimal allocation to the projects. The government has made efforts to reduce this portfolio in an effort to ensure reasonable and material allocation to road projects. As at 30th June 2024, the outstanding GOK portfolio made up of contracted but undone works and amounted to 700 billion. Despite the reduction, the 700 billion portfolio far outstrips Kenya shillings 55 billion ceiling annual budget. For the limited allocation vis-a-vis the outstanding project portfolio results in thinly spread allocation for projects. Most of the projects that the current government is implementing were awarded prior to the 2020-2021 financial year. The thin spread of the GOK ceiling available means the road take longer to complete because more expensive and become more expensive due to the passage of time and attracts interest and other claims. Honorable Speaker, the ministry further stated that in the financial year 23-24, the printed net GOK allocation for the State Department of Roads was 75 billion. I think I'll skip that part, Honorable Speaker, in the interest of time. And I'll go to another point regarding the status of Mauu Roads implementation in Kegumo constituency. I wish to inform the House that the road is part of Lot 2 of the Mauu Roads project, which is currently 52% complete. A total of 2.7 billion has been paid since the project inception, with a pending bill of Kenya shilling 327 million as at April 2024. I'll skip. Regarding the plans that the ministry has put in place for the resumption and completion of Mauu Roads, the ministry submitted that it is working hand in hand with the National Treasury to avail additional GOK funding for all roads. To seek alternative financing for roads, the National Treasury and Ministry have been engaging development partners to finance the already awarded GOK contracts and therefore release some GOK provisions for projects that will not benefit from the foreign funds. It is expected that the National Treasury will make headway towards this initiative within the second half of the next financial year, of the current financial year, 24-25. As to when the contractor is expected to resume construction of the Ikumbi, Ikangi, Gasharage Road, the ministry submitted that Kenha maintenance contractor maintain all other road sections under the agency in Kigumo constituency. Additionally, the agency utilizes framework contracts to promptly address any emergency works, ensuring affected sections remain passable and safe for motorists. In conclusion, Honorable Speaker, about the long-term measures the ministry is taking to ensure the safety of residents during the heavy rains, the ministry reported that the road section is Aspar Road that is planned to be upgraded to bitumen standards, and the contractor is expected to resume works once the outstanding payments are fully made. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I submit.
Yes, Kiungi.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to start for Honorable Munyoro. The road passes from Ikombe, Gasharage, then to my constituency, that is Ichiche, Kirure, and Wanjerere. And I want to confirm that the statement that the contractor, because they did other work in all sections of that road, the issue of maintenance is untrue, because already the contractor has abandoned the site and the works, and also the contractor did earthworks along the whole stretch of the road. Therefore, that area is a T-zone area, whereby we cannot be able to work without those roads. But now they are extremely impassable, especially as we head to the October rains. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I wish to say that the statement is not satisfying. We need, first of all, even though the budget allocations, he has not indicated how much they have allocated that road on budget allocation, because that was the most important thing. The issue of maintenance, Mr. Speaker, should be taken into consideration, because the amount the government is losing, mostly on tea farmers, and also the supply of tea, the government is losing more than maybe whatever they can input on that road. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I want to say that the statement is not satisfying, because the issue of maintenance cannot be going on because the contractor already has abandoned site. Yeah.
JK, is that factual?
I agree with the member that the road needs to be worked on, but Honorable Speaker, the main issue here is funding. If the resources are not available, Honorable Speaker, the member will not be satisfied, and of course, in the course of time, funds will be available to complete that road.
Thank you. Next order.
Order number 8, the Supplementary Appropriation number 2 Bill, National Assembly Bill number 39 of 2024, second reading, resumption of debate.
Honorable members, I'll give you direction as follows on this. Order, Majority Whip. I noticed Timothy Kipchumba was on the floor. We will debate this up to 4:40. Then the mover should be ready to reply. Honorable Ndindi Nyoro, are you listening? You seem to be engaged with your colleagues. I'm giving direction on your bill. We'll debate the remainder of the debate up to 4:40. Then at 4:40, I'll call you to reply. Thereafter, we go to Committee of the Whole on the same bill. So, Timothy, you are the one on the floor. So I would encourage those who are getting an opportunity to take an average of 5 minutes so that others can also speak.
Okay. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me an opportunity to contribute on the supplementary appropriation bill. Honorable Speaker, this bill has come at a moment that we were not able to pass the finance bill as was envisaged, and therefore comes in to accommodate some of the concerns that were raised by the members of the public. Honorable Speaker, as a member of the Committee on Education and Research, we, as a committee, made it sure that the amount that was set aside for the employment or for the confirmation of teachers on internships was set aside so that those teachers should be confirmed on permanent and pensionable terms. Honorable Speaker, that is fundamental because teachers had raised concerns on that particular issue. So I wish to confirm to our teachers that the confirmation of the 46 JSS teachers shall be done as a matter of urgency. Honorable Speaker, we also appreciate we have a backlog of 140,000 teachers who have graduated but have not been employed. Honorable Speaker, this passage of this bill will ensure that those teachers, the 20,000 internships will be employed. Honorable Speaker, that is fundamental because we shall be absorbing those teachers that have graduated but have not been employed. But Honorable Speaker, I have read this bill. This is a good bill, but Honorable Speaker, as a country, following what happened to this country in the recent demonstrations, we, as a House, Honorable Speaker, you realize that we have now what you call a broad-based political government, what you call a mongrel. Honorable Speaker, as a House, we do not have a formidable opposition as we used to have. Honorable Speaker, as a House, we should ensure that we do oversight of these funds. We do not have a formidable opposition. Everybody must speak for what is right in the country. We must do proper oversight. Honorable Speaker, Montesquieu was never wrong when he talked about separation of powers. There is a reason why we have executive, we have judiciary, and we have the legislature. Honorable Speaker, the only way to fight corruption, to fight impunity, to fight bad governance is through a strong parliamentary oversight. Honorable Speaker, as a House, we should ensure that we never pass laws that are not helpful to our people. We should make sure that we do thorough oversight of the executive. We will not allow again, Honorable Speaker, for laws that are brought this House that go against the wishes of the people. Honorable Speaker, what happened on the 25th of June was to the effect that the people felt that the social contract we signed with them was not being exercised in a proper manner. That is why some of them chose that they want to exercise their own power. Honorable Speaker, the reforms that we've had, Honorable Speaker, as a member of Parliament, I appreciate the reforms, and in particular, this afternoon, you have read the name of the nomination of Dorcas Oduor as the Attorney General of the Republic of Kenya. Honorable Speaker, Oduor is, before nomination, was the Deputy Director of the Office of the Public Prosecutions. Honorable Speaker, Oduor is a distinguished lawyer. He's a distinguished advocate who has served this country with honor and distinction. Honorable Speaker, Oduor is a senior counsel. He has attained the rank of a senior counsel. Honorable Speaker, it should never go out of sight that the Attorney General of the Republic of Kenya is the chief principal legal advisor of the government. Honorable Speaker, we have, it seems, even the laws come to this House, that we've never had a proper Attorney General to advise the President of this Republic. So I call upon Dorcas Oduor that it is upon you to now properly advise our President, to now properly advise this government so that we do not have half-baked pieces of legislation coming to this House. She is a distinguished counsel, a distinguished lawyer, and I believe going forward that Dorcas Oduor will be able to properly advise the President, properly advise the CSS, so that we have a country that conforms with the statutes. We have a country that obeys and upholds and defends the rule of law. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Jared Okello.
I thank you very much.
Compress your thoughts to 5 minutes.
Okay, I thank you. Honorable Speaker, I rise to support the Supplementary Appropriations Bill number 2 of 2024, stemming from the botched finance bill, which was rejected by the President as a result of all the issues that arose from our Gen Z generation, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, whereas there is a consideration of the JSS teachers, Honorable Speaker, but the JSS teachers are those who graduated from universities. But there seems to be lack of attention to the P1 teachers, those who finished high school, plugged themselves into teachers training colleges, and you have those who actually graduated day back from the year 2010 and haven't been absorbed by the Teacher Service Commission to date. So, whereas 56,000 teachers would be considered under the JSS category, how I wish that certain portions of funds would have been directed towards the way of the P1 teachers as well, Honorable Speaker. I sit in the Agriculture Committee, and there has been drastic cuts on the budget at a time when we were paying much credence to having food sufficiency within our country, Honorable Speaker. Agriculture has been the backbone of our economy for way too long, and we needed to boost its capacity as a job creation and as a food security element within the Republic of Kenya. Honorable Speaker, people who are hungry cannot do anything worth talking about. And therefore, if we could have put more attention to agriculture, that would have really assisted this country, Honorable Speaker. Our number 2 revenue earner has been tourism. There seems to be very little money going towards marketing the tourism sector and the attendant services offered by the tourism industry, Honorable Speaker. These are areas where we really needed to put more attention on so that this country can have a renewed, rapid flight on matters economic endowment. Honorable Speaker, health sector has become a challenge ever since. Whereas health is a devolved function, the counties seem not to be doing a lot to offer medical services to our people. You go into any health center, any hospital, one fundamental thing you will be confronted with is lack of medicine and lack of equipment to address issues of healthcare. So this is an area where the government needs to put a lot more money because we have indigents within our society, those who have no capacity to pay for medical attention. So together with the roads that have dilapidated all across our country, and the issues were actually made worse by the flooding that we experienced a few months ago, the road sector has not received a fair share of the budget, and even the little that has been directed that way is only targeting a few areas within this country. So under the spirit of equity, the country needs to consider all the roads because people move from all corners of our nation, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, I support this supplementary number 2, and I hope the supplementary number 3, which will be coming up in about 3-4 months, will also try to fix certain imperfections that we are going to receive out of this budget, Honorable Speaker. And I thank you for the opportunity.
Gishemo Gedenji. Paul Biego.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for giving me this opportunity. And on the onset, I rise to support or to congratulate my very good friend, the chair of budget, and his team, that despite the fact that I was somebody who felt very bad when the finance bill did not go through because I knew the advantages, but nevertheless, at least his committee has managed to retain some of the very fundamental and important things that I felt that was important for Kenyans. And one of them, Mr. Speaker, sir, is the retention of the GSS interns. The 20,000 interns who are to be put onto interns, and the current 26,000 interns who are going to be put to permanent and pensionable, worth 18 billion. I felt that that is a score to the teachers. Of course, the university funding, which also got whopping 17 billion, is something that I'm feeling good about, because without education, and especially higher education, then we will be doomed. Mr. Speaker, sir, this committee also saved our children by at least giving them 3 billion on the issue of feeding program, and I feel that that was good. And of course, Mr. Speaker, on the issues of health, the provision of intern doctors. Intern doctors have been complaining all through, and I'm very happy that they have been considered, and there has been 3.7 billion which has been set aside for the intern doctors. And of course, the acquisition of specialized medical equipment. I'm also very, very happy that health is key and health is important. And with the 2 billion that at least has been set aside for the acquisition of specialized medical equipment, would go a long way in helping the people who are sick. And as much as how we may not have gained the issue of the universal health coverage, but at least to accelerate the health care, at least there is some money that had been set aside, I think around about 8 billion, which I'm happy that we are able to get for UHC. And the police force, Mr. Speaker, I note that they are under, well, many a times they have said, and they are receiving low payments. And I'm happy that there's some money that has been set aside for the adjustment for the police in terms of salary. We know that it is key, security is key, and the 3.5 billion that has been set aside for security or for the police adjustment salary is something that I would support this particular bill. And as for NG, CDF, and GAF, at least there's also a allocation that was given. But of course, I regret the fact that there was supposed to have been additional money to the NGCDF. And we know very well the visible fund and what it does is so visible that had we added money onto the NGCDF, then Kenyans would actually have an advantage or would have scored. And of course, Mr. Speaker, as I also disappointed by the fact that we were not able to get the 50 million which was envisaged in the earlier of every constituency getting 50 million for electricity connectivity. So I know for sure that with the government in place, and we pray that we collect more taxes so that we can be able to get electricity, because electricity is key, and many people actually, especially from the constituency I come from, Chesumei, we really have low, or the percentage of electricity connectivity is even below 30%, and this would have given us a big boost. Mr. Speaker, I stand to actually support this bill. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan Kiamba. Absent. Abdul Haro.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to put my voice onto this important debate. Honorable Speaker, first of all, I must say, given where we've come from as a country, and given the circumstances under which the Finance Bill 2024 was rejected, the Budget Committee and the Chair of the Budget Committee have done a wonderful job in trying to balance our budget for 2023 to 2024. I'm particularly impressed that the school feeding program under the Ministry of Education has been given 3 billion to continue feeding our students, especially those ones who come from the food insecure areas and those ones who come from our informal settlements. This is a very good initiative, despite the challenges we have. That we were able to maintain the school feeding program is a very good initiative. Honorable Speaker, I am also very happy that the 46,000 JSS teachers who are on interns are going to be confirmed on permanent and pensionable, and that we are going to recruit another 20,000 interns. This is also very crucial because education is a very, very important sector. Honorable Speaker, I'm also very happy that the budget has considered salaries for the health staff under the Universal Healthcare Program. We have about 8,500 UHC staff who have been serving for the last 4 years, sacrificing to give the essential service to Kenyans at half salary and foregoing a lot of benefits which their colleagues who have got permanent contracts with the county staff were enjoying. Honorable Speaker, now that finances have been factored in the budget for this universal health staff, I would urge that the Council of Governors, the Public Service Commission, Salaries and Remuneration Commission, and the National Treasury to move very fast so that they can confirm these 8,500 UHC staff to permanent and pensionable, and also to make sure that all those benefits that they were supposed to be enjoying for the last 4 years, and which different committees and different reports have indicated that they should be granted, is granted. Honorable Speaker, having said that, there are 2 areas which I think as a country going forward, we need to very seriously consider how we can find money to finance them. Honorable Speaker, we have 2.3 million students who are going to sit their national examinations this year, in the next 3 months. And there's been a policy in this country that the government will waive the examination fees. Honorable Speaker, 5.1 billion, which is supposed to be going to the waiver of the examination fees, has not been factored in this budget. And we have only 3 months to the national examinations. This, Honorable Speaker, is going to be a challenge to the parents who will be forced to go back to their pockets now to finance the examination fees for those students. And therefore, going forward, I think it's a very critical issue that we need to consider. Honorable Speaker, the other issue that I think needs to be considered very seriously is the question of the 10 billion that has been reduced from the Teacher Service Commission, which was supposed to finance the second phase of the 2021-2025 comprehensive bargaining agreement between the teacher unions and the TSC. Honorable Speaker, these teachers are parents to the youths who are demonstrating on our streets recently. And if this comprehensive bargaining agreement between the Teacher Service Commission and the unions is not sorted, I'm afraid we may see the teachers who are the parents of the Gen Zs joining their students, their children on the streets. And therefore, going forward, I think this is also another area that we need to put our heads together despite the shrinking fiscal environment and the challenges we're having. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Johanna Ngeno. You keen and then you leave the chamber. That's not very good. Anton Oloch. Nowhere. Naomi Wako.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for allowing me to add my voice to this very important debate. As I stand, I support the supplementary appropriation number 2. And as I support, I want to just highlight on some few areas that has made me fully stand behind this. Number 1, the issue of school feeding program, which is very important. And before we went on recess, I was able to go around some of the schools in my county and witnessed how important this program is. School feeding program, especially in pastoralist area, is very important. And in some areas, it is the only meal that a child gets. And putting some amount of money, 3 billion, into that is to make sure that the needy children go to school, remain healthy, and their school performance, academic performance, also improving. So I want to say that I support this, and also prudence use of the finance, the money that has been allocated. Because in some cases, there are areas in different parts of this country that do not get the school feeding program, and yet they are needy. Again, the issue of JSS, the 46,000 teachers interns at a cost of 18.3 billion. That is something that in every part of this country, many people have been praying for. And many of our teachers who mold the lives of the young people and make them become important people, because even for us who are here, if it were not for our teachers, we wouldn't be where we are today. And so putting that money there is to make sure that our young people, our young children, get the best education with the teachers who have been motivated. This also makes me to support this. Again, when you look at the police force, Mr. Speaker, many of us know very well the stress the police officers go through. And of late, our country has been going through so many things. And the people who are exposed are the police officers. We know very well that they are also exposed to a lot of danger. They're exposed to emotional stress. They're exposed to witnessing human suffering, people dying, people going through challenges, and also isolation because of the type of work they do. And yet in the past, their salary has been very minimal. By considering increment into this is giving us hope, because we will be able to reduce some stress and also help them to cope with their life. We know very well that many of them in the past, as a result of stress, have even committed suicide. Others have even finished their whole families. But with good package or something that is comforting to them, Honorable Speaker, then we will have solved some of our problems. We know very well that this supplementary budget and supplementary appropriation bill is to support us. And what we have gone through in the last 1 month has served like a wake-up call, Honorable Speaker, because many of us were exposed to a lot of danger. When the young people, the Gen Zs, came in, I was among the last people to get out of this chamber, and it was so scary. And what they have done is they have given us a wake-up call, and I want to thank the Budget Committee for the hard work they have done, the time they have given to this, because if they didn't do what they have done, we would have been in much problems. But with what they have done, then the country is well guided. I want to commend the good work they have done, as I also call upon different ministries and also even the county government, so that we can all be good stewards, put into consideration the money, the little that we have, and live within that, so that we make good use of every coin that gets into our hands and make sure that the common man is benefiting and that Kenyans will see the positive impact of what we are approving. With those few remarks, Honorable Speaker, I support. Thank you.
Tom Odege.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this chance to add my voice on this appropriation bill. First, I want to declare my support on the following grounds. Number one, by committing to confirm all the workers who are currently on either probation or contracts in the public service to be fully employed is a very positive move, which as a person who has been representing workers in this country, I have to support. Again, with the difficulties and the kind of measures proposed, it's very, very important for us to see that we propel our country to move forward so that we don't lose track and ensure that things are done and the country remains stable, which I think, as was enumerated by the chair of the Budget Committee, was very, very convincing. But I have an area which I wanted to raise so that when we come across it from next week, it will not be a surprise to this House, because I've been approached by a number of workers' unions in this country. There are a number of CBAs signed in the public service, and in the financial year we are encountering now, there was supposed to be a second phase of payment of salaries and allowances, which was expected to be in this budget. And as I was listening yesterday, I realized the monies were not allocated to complete the CBAs as was signed. This is something which we learned most of the public service departments in courts, which I know the battle will be there unless we devise a way of renegotiating the second phase of the salaries which were supposed to be allocated, or else we are going to realize a number of strikes, both in the teaching fraternity and in the mainstream civil service, because of that second phase of payments. What SRC did was illegal. You cannot give advice on a CBA which has been signed and registered in court can only be renegotiated, but an advice cannot defy it. So let us expect a lot of anxiety in the public service when it comes to the second phase of the salaries which they were expecting, not unless something is done prior. And the CBAs in existence today is made in a way whereby an agreement is reached and an advice is given when the agreement has already been reached. When a CBA is registered in court, you cannot purport to be advising against. It will bring a very big weakness which will allow workers' unions in this country to take the government to court, and it will be very embarrassing, which I think is something which you can think about and see how best you can go about it so that we don't embarrass ourselves. Otherwise, Honorable Speaker, I support and thank you very much for the chance.
Ferdinand Wanyonyi. Ferdinand, I'm told you had contributed to this bill. Why are you on the screen then? Geoffrey Mwangi, member for Tetu. If you have contributed, please log out.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to the supplementary appropriations bill number 2. And Mr. Speaker, allow me to first thank the committee for budgeting for a job well done. We know as a country we are going through unprecedented times in terms of our public finances, and it is a very, very tricky balancing act to ensure that all the interests in the country and all the programs and projects are taken care of despite the fiscal limitations that we face. Having said that, Mr. Speaker, I would just like to point out the fact that JSS teachers, the money for absorbing all the JSS teachers has been included. And in my own constituency, Tetu, we have quite a number of JSS teachers, and we are very, very excited that these teachers will now be on permanent and pensionable basis. Mr. Speaker, the issue of healthcare is again another serious one in this country. Just recently, we saw doctors on a very prolonged strike demanding placement. We have seen community health workers and other healthcare professionals all crying and saying that they would like to be absorbed. They would like to get a fair share of wages in terms of the very, very important contribution that they make in this country. Mr. Speaker, seeing that 3.7 billion has been provided for the absorption of these healthcare workers, again, is a step in the right direction. Mr. Speaker, in this country, we have been talking about guaranteed minimum returns for a long time, for our coffee, for our milk, for our tea. And we are excited to see that in this bill, despite the limitations that we face, Kenya shillings 1.5 billion is going to go to milk stabilization, which is a form of guaranteed minimum return. And my own farmers in Tetu, Mr. Speaker, this will be received very, very warmly because we are, milk farmers. We have another 3 billion going to the coffee share fund, which is ensuring that our farmers can be paid even before their coffee has been sold at the auction. They can be able to get at least 80 shillings for their cherry. So the 3 billion is going to go a long way in terms of supporting this. Mr. Speaker, we have so many coffee debts, especially in Nyeri and Tetu. We have a lot of coffee debts, some of which date back 10 years, 20 years. And the fact that we have now provided 2 billion shillings to be able to write off some of these coffee debts, this is a very, very welcome relief. Another 2 billion has been given to provide milk coolers. And I am very confident that in my own county of Nyeri and my constituency Tetu, we are going to see some of these milk coolers coming to help us deal with the challenges today that we have of milk spoilage, of our wastage, and also the ability to store milk when we have an abundance during the rainy season. Mr. Speaker, our roads, especially the Mauu Lot 3 roads, have stalled for some bit of time. We are told the contractor is owed a lot of money. But I'm excited to see that in this appropriations bill, an additional Kenya shilling 645 million has been provided to ensure that we can be able to revive these roads. So, Mr. Speaker, having said that, like I've said, we are in a very tight fiscal space. And it is very, very important that time and again, we keep reminding the people who are going to be custodians of these finances. These are public finances. They have to be used well. We have to ensure that we optimize every shilling. Mr. Speaker, in this country, previous studies have shown that the value for money that sometimes we get is about 60 cents for every shilling. It is time that we improve our fiscal management. It is time we streamline our procurement processes. It is time we streamline our usage so that we can raise our efficiency levels from the current 60 cents for every shilling to 90 cents or even more for every shilling we get. Because we do not have the space to raise much more additional revenues. Yet the wananchi out there are still demanding services, and rightly so, because that is why they elected their government. So I rise to support, Mr. Speaker, and pray that all the people in charge of this use this money prudently so that we can be able to achieve all the things that we promised our people and to ensure that the taxpayer gets value for their money. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Gikaria, you have 4 minutes.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I want to be thankful to you for giving me this opportunity. Honorable Speaker, I will not dwell so much on the budget, but to dwell on our oversight role, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, it is not particularly for the departmental committees, Honorable Speaker. It is one thing giving out money to respective ministries and departments and agencies, but Honorable Speaker, when it comes to the usages of the same funding, then the ministries are not accountable to some of these things. Some ministries go berserk and they cannot even be able to account. So it's important, Honorable Speaker, for us in this House to take our respective under Article 95, I guess, where of the three functions of what we are supposed to do, that we must take our responsibility for oversight seriously so that Kenyans can be able to see value for the monies that have been appropriated and monies that has already been taken back to the respective ministries, Honorable Speaker. And I'm saying this, Honorable Speaker, with a lot of, as committees, we need to be bringing our budget implementation reports on a quarterly basis, Honorable Speaker, that will be able to highlight where the shortcomings are and we can be able to take action, Honorable Speaker. Secondly, Honorable Speaker, much as I support the supplementary appropriation bill, Honorable Speaker, it is important for us also to realize the mining sector, for example, the mining ministry, a ministry that had been forgotten, a ministry that was dead and buried. With a few the last financial year, Honorable Speaker, I've seen the tremendous progress from the Ministry of Mining. But Honorable Speaker, 100% reduction of the development vote in that ministry does not go that well, because that ministry, Honorable Speaker, it is one of those ministries that would be contributing greatly and immensely. And I'm saying this, Honorable Speaker, given the proper resources, given the proper funding in that ministry, Honorable Speaker, and with the 970 different minerals that we have in this country, with a proper surveillance, a proper security system, Honorable Speaker, we want to say that the Ministry of Mining is a ministry that the Budget and Appropriation Committee ought to reconsider. It might be a little bit difficult for now, but maybe, Honorable Speaker, going forward, assuming that our revenue improves in terms of collection, Honorable Speaker, I would really want to request the Budget and Appropriation Committee to consider the little development allocation that had been allocated to the Ministry of Mining was taken away. Lastly, Honorable Speaker, is what my colleagues have indicated, particularly about the teachers. Honorable Speaker, CBA is not just a paper, and it is important for this government to start thinking seriously about this sector where the teachers can be able to be considered for the few increment. This CBA that was signed so many years ago needs to be considered so that we can be able to. With those few remarks, Honorable Speaker, I support.
Mover, Dindi Nyoro.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. And I request before I reply, I give Honorable Pato Chuka Igabangombe. We went to the same university together, and he was a good boy. So, 2 minutes.
Thank you, Chair Didi Nyolo. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support this appropriation bill supplementary 1, and first to congratulate the chairman of the Budget and Appropriation Committee and the Committee of Budget and Appropriation, because, Mr. Speaker, we know we have been going through very difficult times of even scaling down the budget after we had appropriated money, but the finance bill failed. I want to thank him specifically for looking at things that touch at the people of this country. First, there is the money for coffee, especially from my place, where coffee is a major issue, and this country, coffee is a major foreign currency earner. Looking at the tea farmers, looking at the milk farmers, Mr. Speaker, giving 8 billion to UHC and knowing that this is a flagship project for this government. Mr. Speaker, this has been a very difficult time, and for the Budget Committee to have been able to balance this budget and come down to where we are today, Mr. Speaker, I just congratulate them and support this appropriation bill, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, very lastly, I request that I give the member for Soin Sigowet, Honorable Justice, a minute. Then I will reply.
Okay,
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity, and thank you, Chairman, for giving me this opportunity. I just want to say, Mr. Speaker, that we've taken the painful decision of effecting cuts so that we can be able to accommodate our expenditure. And I want to commend the committee for making sure that the budget for the Ministry of Education is hardly touched. It's been touched a little bit so that we can be able to assure our teachers, especially the JSS teachers, that they will be employed, and the new teachers that we require that they will be employed. Finally, Mr. Speaker, we wish that we do the last mile, because that is what the people are asking us on a daily basis. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I support.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I really want to thank you very much for the support you've given this process. Administratively, as Parliament, we have received all the support we needed to go through the reports and also to come up now with the Appropriations Bill, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, also I want to thank all the members of Parliament. They have been very committed. All the departmental committees, they have worked around the clock to make sure that we deliver a budget that reflects the current situation of the country, and especially as we forge forward to the growth of our economy. Honorable Speaker, also, I want to remind members that they have been very, very forthright in making sure that we safeguard very important issues. Even when we have budget cuts, Honorable Speaker, I want to laud all the members of this House, because in unison, we decided that even if there are budget cuts, that the monies for confirmation of JSS interns will remain intact, which we have done. We have also made sure that we have allocated money for milk farmers, especially to new KCC, to defend the new milk prices to not less than 50 shillings per litre. We have also allocated 2 billion shillings into coffee, 3 billion shillings into coffee cherry fund to support our coffee sector, where majority of farmers now are receiving very little money, Honorable Speaker. I was in Kiharu the other day, and because of the challenges around the sector, Honorable Speaker, farmers are not receiving their fair share. We have also allocated 2 billion shillings into the coffee sector for payment of debts owed to coffee societies, Honorable Speaker, and especially to banks. Honorable Speaker, also I want to thank members of this House, because we allocated 3.5 billion shillings to enhance the salaries of our security officers, because police officers in Kenya deserve better, and we have allocated 3.5 billion shillings to enhance their salaries immediately after this appropriations bill is signed by the President, Honorable Speaker. Lastly, Honorable Speaker, these cuts have been across vertically and horizontally, across all levels of government. The national government is losing over 121 billion Kenya shillings, the executive. Also, the county governments are losing 20 billion shillings in regards to equitable share. Also, in terms of the national government, all the arms of government have lost. Honorable Speaker, executive has lost. Here in Parliament, we have lost 3.7 billion Kenya shillings. And I want to laud the patriotism shown by members, because members of Parliament have said in unison they are willing to travel less, both here domestically and foreign, for the sake of our economy. And I want to thank the members of Parliament for that selflessness, Honorable Speaker. They are willing, some had actually even volunteered for their salaries to be cut, only that then there was issues around SRC and Parliament, Honorable Speaker. That is patriotism shown by members of this 13th Parliament, Honorable Speaker. Also, judiciary has lost. Honorable Speaker, today we have had a ruling, and this is very far-reaching. The ruling today by our judiciary, Honorable Speaker, I want to say without blinking of an eye, that out of that ruling today, in regards to the finance bill of 2023, not even of 2024, Honorable Speaker, therefore this communicates very clearly to this House and Kenyans that as we do supplementary 2, we are likely to come
to cut the budget further. Because if you go back to the Finance Bill of 2022, Honorable Speaker, we are obedient Kenyans. When we are told by the judiciary that then even that one we cannot proceed with. The issue is that we are likely to come back to this house maybe the next 1 or 2 months to cut the budget further. And these cuts will be across again. All the 2 levels of government are likely to lose. All the arms of government, that is the executive, the parliament, and judiciary, we will all take a haircut. And some may actually have their heads chopped, Honorable Speaker, because we need to contain ourselves within what judiciary has ruled today. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, we need now in this house, our homework is one, critical one. As we wait for supplementary 2, let us continue digging where we need more cuts. We need more cuts by cutting the size of government. The parastatals have to be less. We need more cuts in parliament. We need more cuts in the judiciary itself, Honorable Speaker, because we need to live within the rule of law, as was said here today by our courts, even as we explore on how to grow our economy. What I'm just trying to say, Honorable Speaker, all that we are doing as executive, the laws we pass here in parliament, the pronouncements we get from the judiciary are far-reaching. Once you say it, it does not end there. And therefore, all of us have to feel it, and I am sure we are willing, all of us, to tighten our belts. With those many words, Honorable Speaker, I beg to reply.
Thank you, Honorable Dindi. Honorable members, I'll now put the question at order number 8, which is that the Supplementary Appropriation number 2 Bill, National Assembly Bill number 39 of 2024, be now read a second time. As members of that opinion say aye. Those of the contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Next order.
A bill for an act of parliament to authorize issue of certain sums of money out of the consolidated fund and the application toward the service of the year ending on 30th June 2025 and to appropriate those sums for certain public services and purposes.
Thank you.
Order number 9, Committee of the Whole House.
Honorable members, will you be upstanding?
Give me the mic. Honorable members, order. This is the Committee of the Whole House in the consideration of the Supplementary Appropriation Bill, Bill number 2, Appropriation number 2, National Assembly Bill number 39 of 2024. I hope the chairman is ready, including this amendment. Members, this should not take a long time to concentrate, and we'll start right away.
Clause 3.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 3 be part of the bill. Because there's no amendment to that, I now put the question that clause 3 be part of the bill. Will as another opinion say aye? Will as many opinion say nay? Ayes have it.
Clause 4.
Members, I propose the question that clause 4 be part of the bill. Again, because no amendment to that, I now put the question that clause 4 be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of that opinion say nay? Ayes have it.
Clause 5.
Members, I propose the question that clause 5 be part of the bill. I propose the question that clause 5 be part of the bill. I put the question that clause 5 be part of the bill. Will as another opinion say aye? Will as many opinion say nay? Ayes have it.
Schedules. First schedule.
Members, I propose the question that the first schedule be the schedule of the bill. Chairperson. Schedule 1.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chairperson, I wish to move that the first schedule to the bill be amended that A, in vote R 1291 under program 061-2000, that is public prosecution services, by deleting the expression Kenya shillings 20 million appearing in column 3, that is supply. B, in vote D 1162 under the program 0112000, livestock resources management and development, by deleting the expression Kenya shillings 937,550,000 appearing in column 3, that is supply, and substituting therefore the expression Kenya shillings 987,550,000. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Now, members, I propose the question that the first schedule be amended as proposed by the chair of the BSC committee. I put the question that the first schedule be amended as proposed by the chair of the BSC committee. Will as many other opinion say aye? Will as many opinion say nay? Ayes have it. I now put the question, members, that the first schedule as amended be part of the bill. Will as many other opinion say aye? Will as many opinion say nay? Ayes have it.
Second schedule.
Honourable members, I propose the question that the second schedule be the schedule of the bill. Mover.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, I wish to move that the clause 2 of the bill be amended by deleting the expression 8,399,010,013. Thank you very much. Sorry, I was reading clause 2. It's second schedule. Honorable Chair, I wish to move that the second schedule to the bill be amended A, in vote R1071, that is under the program 0717-000, General Administration Planning and Support Services, by deleting the expression 7,500,949,077 shillings appearing in column 3, that is supply, and substituting therefore the expression Kenya shillings 13,350,949,077 shillings to under the program 071-8,000 public financial management, by deleting the expression Kenya shillings 104,697,153 shillings appearing in column 3, that is supply, and substituting therefore the expression Kenya shillings 4,504,697,153
153 shillings. In vote R1104 under the program 1014000 irrigation and land reclamation by deleting the expression Kenya shillings 52,444,000 appearing in column 3, that is supply, and substituting therefore the expression Kenya shillings 12,443,000. That is Roman 2. Under the program 1015000 water storage and flood control by deleting the expression Kenya shillings, that is 4,962,000 appearing in column 3, that is supply, and substituting therefore the expression Kenya shillings 5,038,000. C. In vote D1065 under the program 0504000 university education by deleting the expression 3160640000 appearing in column 3, that is supply, and substituting therefore the expression Kenya shillings 3,090,640,000. D. In vote D1071 under the program 071900 economic and financial policy formulation and management by inserting the expression Kenya shillings 767,200,000 in column 3, that is supply, Roman 2 under the program